Welcome back, everybody, to King's Tales. I know that we have taken a bit of a hiatus, but we're back. I'm your host, Rex Chege, and to commemorate the rebrand and the relaunch of this wonderful podcast series, I decided to invite a very good friend of mine back onto the show. So today, we will be interviewing Ethan Hahn Aguilar.
Ooh, for audio people, yeah, you can't see, but we're popping
And locking.
I don't know how to pop and lock. Yeah. I'm doing it my way. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Rex. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I like being a guest more than a host, I would say. Yeah. So this is fun.
I'm glad that we decided to do this because originally I remember we started talking about how initially we wanted to redo that very first episode of the Ethan Hahn Aguilar show.
Yes. We have to either recreate it or let's talk about that for sure.
We'll definitely touch on that later.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good to be back together, and it's really funny because on the car ride up here I realized something. Dude, it's almost been a decade since we've been friends.
Yeah, a decade.
Bro, 2012 is when I came to Christianity.
Dude, that's crazy. Yo, time really flies, doesn't it?
It's crazy.
It's pretty much almost been a decade, dude. And it doesn't even... Dude, time goes by quick.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Isn't that kind of scary?
Especially in the pandemic. I didn't realize it until, the other day. I was like, we're already almost in August.
Yeah. And time... Dude, I feel like last year just was too quick.
Yeah.
I don't know for good or bad reasons, though. Because maybe it was good that it went by quick, considering how shitty everything was.
Yeah.
But, it was something about just being isolated from the world that just made it go by so much faster. Because the more you just kept sitting there, you're just last year it was July, August, and then now here we are in 2021, and now it's August, and you're just like, whoa. What happened?
Right.
Yo, where did the time go?
And we're just getting older and older too.
Man, we're getting really old.
I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like. I still
you have those moments.
I still think that I'm 14, 15, and I'm not. I'm 23 now.
No.
When I have to open up a 401k, I'm like, ugh.
Ooh, no, yeah. I get it. It's good for the future and everything. But I'm still kind of figuring my 401k out. I mean, I have all my stuff set up. I still don't understand it. I had a meeting with a business guy, and I remember sitting in the office. I'm like, huh? Truthfully, I'm just I get it, but it's also sometimes I wish people would baby things more. When it comes to adults using adult big words, I'm just I get really overwhelmed. I'm huh?
What does that mean?
I don't get it. I even sometimes I'll go, if I'm comfortable with a person, I'm like, yo, treat me like I'm a kindergartner right now. I would prefer you talk to me like I'm an idiot so I can really understand this, Yeah.
For sure. I definitely have those moments while I'm at work too, because it's, even though you study this stuff in school, it's a completely different ball game when you actually get out into the field.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Sometimes I'll ask questions, and my coworkers the people above me, they'll look at me and be like, "How do you not know this? I thought you went to school for this." But at the same time, too, I'm just you really need sometimes for people to slow things down and explain them to you, because it can get a bit overwhelming.
Life goes by really quick too. I mean, going back to things are just happening too fast, and it's just let's breathe, let's take our time, you know, and just let's just be in it. I like to be in moments, man. Right now, let's just we're alive, we have two legs.
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Everything's working.
Yeah, everything's working. Hey, we're in my room doing this podcast, and it's just chill. It's just I think the older I get, the more I realize appreciate the small things in life. Yeah, because things just go by way too fast for us to be being stressed all the time. Oh, dude, I can't stand that, man.
And it's so funny that you brought that up, because I remember there was a time where I was stressed out all the time and super anxious and just trying to do so much at once. And it's because I was conditioned. We're conditioned from, a really young age.
We are.
Just looking up to what our parents are doing and what society as a whole is doing, especially when we look at the working class person.
Right.
They're on go 24/7. If they're not at work, they're with their family. If they're not with their family, they're doing something else related to whether they have a side hustle or another business. And so we're taught you have to keep on going and going and going. But what they don't tell you is that eventually you get burnt out.
Yes, exactly. Because again, when we're young, we see again our like you said, our parents, the whole adult world. Quick, fast. And then you almost want to sometimes I even tell my parents too. I'm like, yo, let's just breathe. Let's just breathe for a second, I don't know if I think I mentioned you before, but again, one thing that I've done a lot recently is meditation.
Yeah.
After my runs, again, I'll just sit there either with or without music and just be in nature for like 10 minutes, and that just helps out so much. Like it after like a whole stressful day at work, and I'll just be mad, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna let this get to me though. Like I'm not as much as like again. I'm not like I still haven't mastered it. Like I'm sure you haven't either. No one really masters the inner peace or whatever it is. But
Right.
just know when you can like just sit back and relax. I tell everybody, dude.
Absolutely, and that's a really good point to state. And I hope that whoever is listening is able to get value from this, because it's so important for you to understand yourself and know what it is that's going on with you, because if you're not able to understand yourself, you can't expect other people to understand you either. Right. It really just, it all starts with you. And one thing that I've learned, especially through my spiritual journey, is from what I've seen, especially with being in a predominantly like black church, like you're taught, especially like when it comes to praying and stuff, like I always used to think like you have to, oh God, I need you to do this, God, I need you to do that, why am I struggling with this? And sometimes it really is just a matter of having like a really personal conversation with them. Like it doesn't always have to be like like that deep, like and sometimes you will have prayer moments where like you really have like you'll be in deep concentration meditation.
It is a conversation with God.
With God, literally.
It's a conversation with God. That is something that is kind of I recently got involved with some kids who go to GSBC Church. Shout out to them. Been on a few retreats with them. And one thing that I like a lot, that the way they word, I literally that's the way they worded it to me, is it can be just a casual conversation. Like, again, everyone has their different ways of worship, which is fine. Like, it can be, like, level 10. But for me, I consider myself just kind of, like, level 1 casual. I like, listen, it's me and the big man whenever I need some help. And it's just, like, it is just a conversation I try to have in my head. I'm like, hey, I really need help right now with this. I'm sending my prayers up there right now, if whatever you can do. It really is that casual to me. And for me, that is just, I think, the more proper way I do it.
Yeah.
And it's how I feel more connected in my faith with him, too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can't, it's so... And this is just universal in general, but more particular for me, like with prayer, you can't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yes.
Anybody else's prayer life. Their prayer life is their prayer life. My prayer life is my prayer life. Exactly.
And like, again, you just got to respect it and just go away. It's like, that is your way. That's my way. Everyone has their own way of communicating with the big man. And again, whatever religion you have your way of connecting with your higher being and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So... for those that don't know, I know that we just went on this aside for like 10 minutes, but Ethan actually has his own podcast series. It's called Ethan Han Plus. He just did a rebrand.
Yes.
And, I'm actually really super excited to see where he ends up. He really is one of a kind person, and the entertainment and the authenticity that he brings with his podcast, it really is unmatched. And I think that's one thing that really does separate himself from other people. So I brought him on today because I plan for both of us to have open dialogue, as you guys can already tell, but also I have some pre-written interview questions that I wanted to ask.
I'm so excited. Again, thank you for having me. This is great.
Absolutely. So the first question I had for you is, of course, state your name and the name of your podcast.
Again, everyone, this is Ethan Han you are listening to right now, and my podcast is, again, it was a small rebrand, Ethan Han Plus, because it was originally Ethan Han Plus One, because my original idea was kind of like, ooh, me and plus one other person, and then the setup was me, just another chair, but then things just kind of became like, every time I was having like 2 or 3 people on, and I was like, and a few people called me, I think Joy was one of the people too, called me out on it, which it wasn't, it was something I thought about too. I was like, plus one, like, does it really make sense, now, because I'm having several people on, and more people are coming on that are not just one person, and I was just like, hey, I was looking at Disney Plus actually, and I was like, let me just Ethan Hahn plus, and then in the episode just say Ethan Hahn plus this person or this and that person, and then
Right.
I was just like, okay, let me just change it up a bit to Ethan Hahn plus, and yeah, I made a little logo. I'll put the thing up right here for video watchers too. Oh yeah, and on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, and YouTube is the video version, and we making some moolah in the audio version. So please listen to those. But again, the video version is just for more engagement and like people to see the facial expressions, because I think more people feel more engaged in it and like more entertained by watching that stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely. And to piggyback off of that, when you make yourself personable, that's when you start to realize that your numbers are starting to go up, and you won't even realize it. And I actually watched a YouTube video the other day about marketing, and it's so important nowadays, especially in the social media age, to build that community and to have when people are interacting with you on your page, when they say, "Yo, this is really dope." It's something as simple as replying back to them makes them feel welcome as a part of your community. So but yeah, building a community and interacting with those people that are interacting with you on your post helps them feel welcome, and in turn they're more likely to support you. Yeah. So that's really, really important.
Just building a relationship. Building a relationship, making it interpersonal, and just like, I think when people find things relatable too, and that was the main goal with my podcast a little bit. Just have real people on and just have real conversations, and then let's just have a funny time. Or if there's some tea to spill, hey, let's spill some tea a little bit. But again, my goal is just to have people have a good time on the podcast, and then even if it's no deep topics, like people just come on, like let's have a conversation and record it, because I think sometimes the funniest stuff can just come out of like conversation with people, especially at our age. Like people who are in our early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, in this generation, I think there's just some funny shit people have to say, and I'm just like, yo, let's sit back and let's come up with, it could be any topics too. Let's just bull and talk, man. Yeah.
Right. And that's a really good thing that you just said, because when I was doing the rebrand and stuff too, like I realized that there were so many things that people told me when I was younger that I couldn't talk about. And as I got older, and I think what really made me a lot more comfortable about talking about things was, going to see like a counselor when back in college and stuff. And she really encouraged me, like, even if you aren't able to find the words and you have it in your head, just start writing stuff down. And then once you write it down, you come back to it and speak it out loud. And that's what I started doing when I initially started King's Tales last year. Was just a matter of going back on, my old therapy notebook and talking about some of the things that I felt needed to be talked about. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're able to muster up the courage and talk about it and put it on a platform where everyone has access to it, there's someone else out there that's feeling the
same exact way. And because again, they might have no one to talk to about it either. And it's an awesome thing, and like I think a very brave thing for you to do, just to put that stuff out there. Right. Because again, people, I feel like mental health is very underrated sometimes, and not a lot of people like to acknowledge it. But I'm telling you now, like, hey, listen, if you're feeling down, like I say, talk to someone about it, find a way to express yourself, and you've channeled that, good sir. Yeah. And I think more people just need to hear us talk about this so that they can find their thing,
Yeah, absolutely. And quick disclaimer, we are not professionals. This is not professional help, so nobody take this to heart. And please don't sue us.
Yes, exactly. We're really just two dudes bullying right now. Two dudes bullying. Just hey, just listen to us, Oh,
man. Yeah. So you actually touched a bit on my next question, but what is the purpose / mission for your podcast?
Yeah. I love that question when I saw that one there. For me, again, it was just kind of going back to it. We live in Delaware, and So just to give everyone a quick, backstory of me a little bit. I want to pursue, entertainment, acting, and stuff like that. And I understand, like, there is a. I want to get real deep here a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
I understand that there is like stuff online where you can do that. For me, I want to do it in a proper way.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things online where, again, acting was the main thing for me before, but now it's just like this broad thing of entertainment if I can get it in any way. But acting was the main thing before, and I was looking at acting stuff online, and they were always like, "Ooh, if you pay this, you can get into this audition." I was like, I don't know. Like everything just kind of seemed sketch to me. And again, I've met like. So real quick, everyone, I'll tell everyone. We are in my room, and there is work getting done on my house. You might hear my dad's voice, but just full disclaimer there.
Yeah.
But for me, the business and seeing how they try to recruit people online, there was something a little distasteful about it. At least from my experience, someone can listen to me like, you just didn't do it right. That's fine, which is cool. I came after working at the Cinemark part-time job and then full-time at my new job right now. I sit back sometimes. I'm just like, should I? And people have told me this too. Donovan, shout out to Donovan Chamberlain. He said, what if you just found a way to bring Hollywood here and grow big locally? I think what I was doing was looking too big. Part of me was like, Hollywood, I gotta get to Hollywood. As soon as I graduated high school, it's like, no, like I gotta start doing this, and I'm gonna be in LA, this, that. But I think I've actually, after talking to people and even doing this, like podcasting, it's brought me down a little bit to earth. Right. And I'm just like, I think this works, and I think this can work to something bigger.
Right.
And what can help with that, I think, is, listen, we live in Delaware. Not a lot of people know about Delaware.
Yeah.
I want to let's make Delaware known.
Right.
That's kind of my goal with this. Delaware's full of funny, awesome, like, I don't know, just like nice people that I think let's have a voice for that, And if there's any way we can do that, I was like, podcasting, and especially during COVID, I think it was a COVID idea, this whole podcasting thing, and especially you, again, Rex inspired a little bit because I saw you posting King's Tale stuff, and I was like, I didn't really know what it was, to be honest. And I listened to your stuff, and I'm just like talking and recording, and I was like, that's pretty dope that people would just do this. And then I found Conan O'Brien's podcast, and to get to the point, the main thing is like, I want to give people who don't have a voice, and that's really what I was aiming for. And just have fun with it along the way, because I feel like there's so many people here locally that have something to talk about, have something to get off their chest, and something that that even if it is a silly topic or a deep topic, like there's something to talk about. And I just wanted to touch on that and just like, hey, let's get these people in and just talk. And I've had people say, hey, so-and-so wants to be on, or I know a few people that would love to be on, and I messaged them and they're nothing but excited for it. It's gotten pretty well. It's been
gaining traction.
It's been gaining traction, man. It's pretty cool. But again, just to give people who don't have a voice. That's kind of what I'm aiming for here. And again, it can go with any topic too, because I want people to see the comedic side of Delaware. The comedic side of Delaware, like our community and stuff like that, and just the kind of the deep side and what people are inspired to be in their future. Because one of my favorite questions that I ask a lot on the podcast is, what are your end goals? Like, what do you want to do? And I always try to toss that question out there and just see what people in the community want to say.
Absolutely. And two things before we move on. One, I actually saw this quote the other day on Twitter. I forgot who had posted it, but they said, who's to say that as you're building yourself up, why not help as many people along the way as you can?
Yes.
And
yes.
That humility and that selflessness really, it gives you a leg up. And one thing that I've learned is, God's always watching the things that we do. And your humility and selflessness is what eventually you're going to get to a point where you're so blessed that you're going to look back and be like, okay, I remember when I was here. How can I help other people that are aspiring to do the same thing as me? And how can I help them along the way?
It's a good feeling too. Like, if anything, like I feel like it drives me more when it's like, oh, I can help this person out. Like, let's make it to the top together. That's all I want. I want to make it to the top together. The correct way and the most appropriate way, whatever we got to do, let's make it to the top.
Absolutely. And then I think what really helps too is finding that perfect work-life balance. And once you're able to get that in order and not only manage yourself and help yourself, but also help others.
Right.
And then once you're able to find that good balance between the two,
man,
it's perfect.
It's the best feeling ever.
It is great.
And I would still say I haven't even 100% mastered that, but I'm at a good point where I'm just like, oh, no, I know what I'm doing right now. I think I can control this. And
What skills or services do you have to offer that distinguishes you from other entertainers or content creators in the industry?
oh, right, yeah. Well, again, like one thing I really want to base my podcast on is like community and stuff like that. Like locally, what's going on and who's in the community, like
Yeah.
like what's going on and like the characters we have, and because what I like to say everybody is like life is a show, and I like to see it just kind of like this fun thing that I'm a character, you're a character, we're walking around this town and just like who's that guy, what's
Yeah.
his story. And yeah,
Bro.
what's his story? And then I'm just like to have the opportunity to have someone on. I've already had people that I met for the first time walk in the studio, and I was nervous, but when I sit them down, they have a story to say, or they have a background that I find fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's even if like a lot of people who are watching don't find it fascinating, I do. And
Right.
listen, and I know at least a handful of people are going to find it interesting. So if I can just get at least one person to tune in and be like, wow, this is actually kind of cool, and I've gotten more than one person, I'm blessed to at least have one person watch that, like even watch the podcast,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of supporters for it. But yeah, again, yeah, the goal was just kind of like just give a voice to the people, and then for a community and stuff like that. Yeah. Because I don't know, because I feel a lot of podcasts that are well known, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess they have a lot of big names on or something like that. And I don't know, I mean, of course there's billions of podcasts out there, and I'm sure
yeah.
there's other people doing the same thing we're doing, but I wanted to bring that to Delaware. I think hopefully we can just give Delaware, it's time to shine, Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's time to shine.
Absolutely. And that desire to be authentic and, again, selfless and help as many people as you can along the way, it
Yeah.
really does pay dividends in the grand scheme of things. So that's a really good mission statement to have, or to have that desire to do that. So, and I actually included that in my mission statement as well, is I don't want to be that person on Instagram or Twitter with hundreds of thousands of followers and I'm not interacting with them, or I'm only following 100
Yes,
back. Like,
yes.
I want to create that community, and it really just, you have to start somewhere. And I would rather start with 1 or 2 or 3 people consistently following it than to start off with 10,000 and I'm not unable to keep up with everything and follow them and interact with them on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
very good point. Very good point. So question number 4. For your new viewers that are just tuning in today, how frequently do you upload?
Once a week,
Okay.
at least now with the edits I have right now currently. I am able to post them once a week. I'm aiming for Tuesday releases now.
Okay.
At the time of recording this, I just had the one of the spiciest ones and the most viewed one. I don't know if you saw some ads
did.
for it. Yeah, it was an ex-boyfriend versus ex-girlfriend episode, and that was their idea. Actually, they came to me with that. Well, Jonna did. Shout out to Jonna. She came to me with that idea. She was like, "Ooh, have me and Darren on. People would watch it." She's like, she promised me 500 views. It's at 360 something. But
That's
But
impressive.
here's the thing. Like, I mean, like that was impressive, and the speed it was coming at, the views. I was like, yo, Jonna, who are you? Because she said, I'm gonna get you all the views. Like she said, I got people in Australia, Canada, and then I looked at the stats on Anchor. I was like, oh, she wasn't lying.
She
Like
wasn't lying.
I saw Australia pop up 1%. I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah. But what was the question again? Hang on. I feel I just went on a thing there.
It's all good. How frequently do you upload?
Oh, how frequent? Yeah, frequent. Again, once a week, and then but yeah, the juiciest one just dropped, and then I plan to have my dad and uncle on this upcoming week, and then I literally have 4 more ready to go the next couple weeks. So yeah, things are gonna be popping out. Yeah.
So, to further expound on that question, how were you able to get that balance? Because sometimes too, as creators, we'll try and we'll bite off more than we can chew.
Yes.
And
yes.
we'll overwhelm ourselves, and we'll get to a point
100%. And dude, I'm not gonna say I'm not. I mean, I am a bit overwhelmed right now because editing for me, it's mainly on editing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is something I've thought about. I'm like, ooh, maybe I should have someone edit for me while I do all this stuff. But
Right.
I have this weird thing in me where it's like, oh, but are they gonna do what I want? My vision, And I don't know. Hopefully, this makes me sound like an ass a little bit, because it's like I could easily just toss it over to maybe someone, hire somebody to edit it. But I'm like, but what if they don't get what I want to
Bro,
see. You
I'm
know?
the same. I'm literally the same exact
Yeah,
way.
because we have a vision, and I want to have full control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's actually why the origins of the name too. Like Ethan Hunt Productions, part of me is like, I'm doing all this shit. I'm putting my name on this thing. You know, like what's going on here?
Right.
But again, I just like to have control. That's
Yeah.
just what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
And but it can get overwhelming because it is like, oh, I have all this audio, I have all these footage, and I literally became some sort of neat freak. I have this hard drive, and it's all like neat now. Before it wasn't.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, I need to fucking organize this because
Yeah.
I have like folders for each episode, folders for vlogs, folders for this, so many different folders, and
Absolutely.
I'm just like, whew, I'm like a little more it's definitely helped my organization skills. I will put that much. Yeah.
100%, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really glad that you brought that up because I was thinking the same exact way that you were thinking. Like, oh, if it's not up to my standard, I don't want anybody else touching it because then I'm just gonna be upset. And that's how I operated in the past when I was president of a couple organizations that I was responsible for back in undergrad. I wouldn't delegate things because I was like, oh, they're gonna mess it up. But what I had to learn was, if you have the vision, find similar people that are able to not only understand the vision but have the same vision as you.
Right.
And once you find those people, you're able to communicate things, and communication is the biggest thing.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So, in terms of finding an editor, because literally I've been in a process. I've been telling you about it. Like, I've been in the process of getting my podcast registered under a business as a LLC. So I've been watching all these YouTube videos, trying to gain information, reading articles, and it's funny because I was watching one, and the girl that, God, I'm forgetting the content creator's name, but she was saying that when you eventually want to start your own team, communication is key.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I'm excited for that too. Like, when I get to the point, and I feel like I am getting close to that point, but now it's a matter of finding the right people. Like, I'm sure with you too, is when I'm able to create, I think I need it too, actually.
Yeah.
A team.
Yeah.
I think a team is what will be needed eventually down the line because, again, with all these guests wanting to either come on or the guests I've asked to come on, like things are gonna start piling up because I also want to do vlogs and I have another short film I'm trying to get done by November.
See?
So part of me is like, okay, like, well, I think I'm gonna need some help here at some point, Yeah, but I think, a team is something that will 100% have to come down the line, and I'm excited for that though because again, I'm excited to when I find the right people. And like you said, communication, like someone I can communicate with. I don't want to have to butt heads, It's one of those things, like, I want to make sure I find the right people where I can just, like, me chillax, vibe, cool work environment, to the point to where this has actually been a recent thing that's come in my head where I almost want to be able to just, work for myself if we can get it to that point with this, And I think at the point where I'm at right now, especially, like, I don't even think that's a thing that I can doubt myself in. I'm just like, I think I'll be able to take this somewhere because a lot of people are, again, I'm getting a lot of support, and I think especially with your drive too, man, I think you're going to be able to take King's Tales far. I think you will, man, especially with those topics. Yeah.
Thanks. Again, two things. Before I forget, because I feel it's slowly seeping out of my mind.
Sure. Go, yeah.
But
say now. Because I've been in that situation too. Hosting is hard. Yeah.
I'm telling you, because
it can be a challenge. Yeah.
Things just drop out of your mind. But repeat again what we were just talking about, so I can refresh because it's leaving me.
Building a team.
Yes. Okay. So, and one thing that's great about it is once okay. So the two things are, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. One of the things that my pastor stresses to me is when you eventually get to that point, slow to hire, quick to fire. When you eventually get to that point where you're interviewing people and explain to them the vision that you have and what the expectations are, and you're able to specifically list roles and responsibilities. Yeah. Once people are able to fully understand it and see that you're serious, and they're able to, I guess not monetize, but I guess prioritize your vision and make it their own and take it seriously. Yeah. That's when you'll start to realize, like, your editor will be hitting you up every other day. Hey, I finished making the edits that you requested. Take a look. If there's anything else that I need to do, I'll make the edits for you. Let's say you have a social media marketer. Yeah. Hey, boss, before I put this out, check the flyer out. Is there anything I need to add? Is there anything I need to take away? Do you think this might be offensive or not? And once you get to that, I'm telling you, it's going to be a wonderful feeling, because I finally was able to get to that point my junior year with the Black Student Union that I was overseeing. So everyone, it was almost like a free flowing like machine, and I was like, yo, this is great.
Yeah.
Like when everyone's all on the same accord and you don't have to stress about things getting done, and it's getting done in a timely manner. It's a wonderful feeling.
It was flowing like butter, huh?
It was great.
Okay. Yeah. That is definitely something I think will have to happen soon for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it'll come in time. And I think
come,
one thing too that I've learned is trying not to rush things and literally just taking it a step at a time. Because again, if we become so focused on getting to the destination, we'll miss enjoying the journey.
Yes, exactly. Enjoy it in the now. Like,
Yeah.
Again, going back to it, be in the moment. Just be in that moment. Because dude, you know what? I'm gonna say this every time where I do find myself being in the now and just like enjoying like the journey, like you said.
Yeah.
Like for example, when a guest leaves, this kind of sounds weird in a way, I guess, but I'm gonna like open up here. When a guest does leave the studio, like I kind of just like sit back in the chair. I'm like, wow, like that was awesome.
Right.
Like I'm like, that was so cool. This person came on, we had this conversation, it was great. And I'll just like play some music and just chill. And I'll just like, I haven't even cleaned anything up in the studio yet. I'm just like sitting there. I'm just like, I get almost to the point where I get just a wee bit emotional. I want to start like, but I'm just like, man, like, this is awesome where this has gotten to. And then like, this person, like, I think the one that just hit me was like, the one I just did with Raya. I haven't seen her in a while. And then we really had her on to promote her art and then really just to focus on that. Like people buy her art real quick. I'll put a little link here if you want to, buy our Raya's art, please support her. But, it was even after the podcast, me and her, we talked for like another hour just to catch up. And then when she left, I'm just like, man, that was so cool. Like just to catch up. And then she had a blast, like being on the podcast. And, it's a lot, man. Sometimes it's a lot. Just like, wow, it's cool. And then, but it's those moments you got to appreciate a lot. And I make sure to do that like every time where I'm just like, I'm blessed to have what I have and to be able to do what I do and that people enjoy it to some extent,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you guys don't take anything else from this interview, have moments of reflection. Just take time to take things in, because like I said at the beginning, sometimes we move too fast.
We do.
And
we do.
We'll miss the opportunity to just feel the situation and to absorb everything that's just transpired. So take your time.
Take your time. Whatever you want to do, take your time and enjoy that moment. Because again, so many people don't, man. And because some people, when I say it to people, they think I'm just like being silly Ethan, like, oh, like whatever, man, you're just like, you're just dramatic. But I get that it looks that way. But for me, it's like, no, like genuinely, like, yo, sit back and just be in it. Like, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Yeah.
You want to know how I know like this is like it's going really well? Because Ethan, it's like he's reading my mind and answering the questions before we get to them. Like,
did I answer the next one?
You already answered it. I was gonna be like, is there an area that you would like to that you would like to prioritize improving upon? And building the team. Like you literally just said it. So
building the team. Yeah, that's definitely one thing. But like when it comes to improving too, well, actually, this is more, I guess, what's it called, a physical thing.
Yeah,
I wanted that studio. I'm trying to crack. It's so hot in that studio. And I feel bad. And maybe it's a minuscule thing too, because when the guests do come on, everyone's like, no, we're fine.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no, I feel like they're just saying that, just to be kind, of course. But no one's like ever seems like uncomfortable. Everyone just kind of sits back in the chair. But it's just the studio space is my main enemy right now. Because again, with a podcast, you can just post the audio, which is fine. But for me, like I'm like, again, go big or go home, and I'm all about the presentation.
Yes.
So like Rex is in my room right now. Like I was a little extra on his side. I put some things there, and then I got the background for me, and I have my desk set up. But for me, I just like to. It also helps the conversation too. Like when people come on, like if they see a studio space, it's just more kind of like, oh, this is like legit, And it helps them kind of ease into it. But sometimes it also, if anything, makes them more nervous. I notice because I've had people on that I notice are. It's hard to break them in a little bit because when people walk in, they see my chairs, the posters, and I look at them like, I just put this together like out of nowhere, This is not. I tell everyone this is casual as fuck. Like this is not some job interview. Don't be nervous. Like we're just chilling. But it takes a while to break them in, and then by the end of the 2 hours we talk, like they're like free flowing, which is great. Yeah, but again, the studio space does, I think, help them engage a little bit more.
Absolutely. Ambiance and atmosphere. two
Yeah.
critical things I've noticed when I'm watching my favorite YouTubers, when I'm watching like the visual like podcast,
Yeah.
they have a setup.
Exactly.
And one thing that you'll learn, as you continue to grow your brand is you'll start to do research and find out more about like the psychological side of things, like what colors to put in the studio, what words to avoid saying, like
Yes.
and once you're able to figure that out and figure out like what times are best to upload,
Yes,
dude.
Yes.
That's when you're gonna start.
It's a big thing too. Yo, times to upload. That is a pretty big thing. And times to upload or just to promote it in general. You're just like, oh, there's a hot spot. Let me get this going now. People are probably looking at their phones. It's all matters.
And knowing your target demographic, like you said,
Yeah.
low to high 20s.
Yeah.
We're all working now. Like if not full-time hours, then enough part-time hours to feel like we're working full-time. So
Yep.
you'll know some people are working either 7 to 3, 8 to 4, or 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
they'll get off of work, they'll eat, and 9 times out of 10, the first thing they're doing when they get off of work is check their
Looking
phone.
at their
So
phone.
if you know that, you'll probably post a flyer at 5 o'clock or a promotional video or a new episode at like those times.
Exactly.
And people, I guarantee that's when you're going to start to see a lot more increase in traffic. So.
Yeah, but one thing I've been experimenting with it is I'll drop the podcast like a new episode.
Yeah.
For work I get up actually these days I've been getting up at 6 because I've been trying to do morning runs more.
Okay.
But before I do for the run, let's say this Tuesday, I'm planning to post it in the morning. Because part of my thought process there is people are like, that's too early. People are driving to work, and then when people see it drop, because I have people who told me like, oh yeah, I was listening to it on the way to work, and then I listened to it a little bit at work, and then after work I finished it up. So I'm like, okay, they can break it up through the day or something like that.
Right.
But then I drop it in the morning, but then I promote more around when I get out.
Yes.
And I'm like promotion because I want to see. I'm trying to see if people are listening to it in the morning, and it has worked out a couple times. It has worked out. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yo.
Yeah.
I just
exciting, dude.
It's awesome. Like,
yeah, it's exciting.
And my personal thing is I love to see people win.
Yes.
So when other people are telling me, I give myself my flowers when the time is due, but when other people are telling me, their accomplishments, their visions, and what it is that they have,
I want to like cry for them. I'm like, yes, that's so good. That's so good.
I just want to clap for them.
Yeah, for
just
real.
throw flowers at them.
Exactly, man.
You get a car. You get a car.
You get a car. Let's all get cars. Yeah. Exactly, man.
Oh dude. Man. But it's great.
I can't wait, man.
I love it. So this next question, I'll make a little bit of an edit to it because we did talk about it a bit at the beginning.
Okay.
When you do establish your community, if you haven't already, how do you plan on interacting with them, and how frequently do you plan on interacting with them?
Ooh, this is a good one. Wow, like okay, interacting with them and how future promotions and stuff like that too to get people involved. I don't know, man. Like, well, no. Actually, no. I do know. Actually, no. Because I talked about this a little bit with a few of my friends. I guess okay. When it comes to getting more people engaged in the podcast,
right?
My plan is, I feel like I've gotten to this point of kind of like, okay, people are watching it. This is cool, and I'm in the rise right now. I think. I'm in the rise.
Yeah.
I think once I hit that that tippy top, and I'm like, wait a second, okay, we're here.
Right.
And then of course we could bring up these plans, right? And I think in my head, my plan is, I'm making T-shirts.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I want to find ways that I'm actually gonna make maybe some ads where it's just like, hey, come on if you want to come on the podcast, like literally engaging people through social media, like, hey, if you watching this want to come on down, we have a free shirt for you. And it's like, if I'll give them like my information, whatever they want, they DM me and stuff like that. And then we'll just focus on the topics there. I think for me, literally, the only plan I have right now is literally just ads to ask people if they want to come on, and then what topics they would like to get. What voice do they want to get out there? I think that's it. Yeah, going back to the voice thing. Critical. I just want to make more ads. Just telling people, come on board. What do you want to talk about? Let's rock. That type of thing. And then merch and stickers. I think that's one thing I've been talking to my friends about, because They said it would be a pretty good idea, and they're going to help me out with it. Yeah. Again, Ethan Hahn production shirts, and then stickers for the vlogs, podcast, and the production stuff. Yeah. Just small stuff. Start small. You know, I think that's a good start too. Yeah. That's
literally perfect. And that's the formula that I've been seeing. Like one of my favorite podcasters, his name's the Black Hokage, and his podcast is called Hokage Thoughts. And what's really funny is he started out as a YouTuber, like gaming, like I started watching him back in like 2011, 2012. All he would do was just do commentaries over like video games and stuff, and he was funny.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about him is, he's always interacting with his community. And one thing that I've learned is, you do it enough and you let people know that they're valued. Once that community starts to grow, you'll find people that are part of your community that have skills.
Yes.
Like you might find an editor, you might find a graphic designer, you might find a marketer, and they'll have the experience and the skill set and they'll probably even
to help enhance what you're trying to create. Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, it goes back to building the team. One thing I can say that, to touch on that, well, not podcast wise, but getting engaged with the community again.
Yeah.
For SWAT Revenge, one of the short films I had come out.
Yes.
One of my boys, Matt Deeney, who was he did stunts in the film, he did flips, and it was, did I reach out to? It was something through Instagram, but just kind of reaching out and then talking to people that are involved, they can help out because. So I had him on, and then he did a few stunts in the film where it was just like flips, backflips, and then he was hanging onto the bleachers and stuff like that. He did some crazy jumps for me, and afterwards he came up and he was just like, listen, for the next short film or whatever you got going on, I don't even need to be on camera. I will help out with choreography and stuff like that. And I was just like, that's amazing, And again, it's not podcast side of things, but that side of it, you realize, this is all the help I can get right now. All the help I can get is fantastic. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you. And it's almost, and like, it just happens by chance sometimes.
It does.
And
it does.
It's just so crazy seeing how everything like free flows and ends up almost magically just falling in your lap.
And what I want to tell people is, express your interest because that's how you find more people.
Yep.
Because just recently too, I was at Six Flags with a couple friends. We went to a Korean barbecue afterwards, and it was like a mixture thing. Like it was for this one girl's birthday, and a few of us from Delaware went over, and her Jersey friends went over, and we all kind of crossed over and mixed, and we all vibed perfectly. And I met this guy. Everyone was telling him, he's a vlogger. Hey, talk to Ethan. He's a vlogger and stuff like that. And me and him chit-chatted. I found out he does choreography as well. And he showed me his YouTube channel. And then he did like some sort of anime thing. Like he hit this little short film. And I looked at him like, you're helping out on the next film. And he's like, I would love to. And we exchanged information. And again, if you just express this, like for me, sometimes I'm like, am I doing too much? But it's helped. Truthfully, it's helped. People, like just post, whatever your passion is, talk about it because people, there's a very good chance you're going to run into someone that is going to be able to help you out.
Yep. For sure. Point number 2 and 3, be confident in your craft and do not be afraid to open your mouth because closed mouths do not get fed.
I love that. My mouth keeps getting dry. I'm talking so much.
Bro, it's all good. It is all good. Perfect. And I'm going to share something with you that I found the other day, and it's been my lock screen for like the past 2 weeks now. If you are persistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. Ooh. And I mean, everything you just said hits on it because you have those moments of doubt where you're like, okay, did I choose the correct thing? Is all the hard work and stuff that I'm putting in paying off?
Scary.
Look at where you are now, bro.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all we have to do is just take that step back, look at where we were and where we are now and where we're going.
Yes.
And that's, again, going back to that meditation that you were talking about and having those moments of reflection after things happen. It's just being like,
appreciate it. Yeah. Appreciate it. Wow. That just happened. Yeah. And that was cool. It's 1 + 1, everybody. Like, it's that simple. Like, just like once you have a moment of like something that went really well with something that you're passionate about, or just be in that. I can't express enough. It's good for mental health too.
Yeah,
because you're just like, whew, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay. Yeah.
And sometimes just having that, again, like just taking that breath and telling yourself, I'm okay.
It's that simple.
And then you'll look back, and I think one of the biggest things for me right now is, more than anything, like, I'll have those casual conversations with God. I'm like, God, you're using me to do this stuff,
right?
Like, and especially for like me, coming from a place of like low self-esteem and not really knowing my worth or what my purpose was. Now knowing that I'm in a position where I'm able to help others realize that they have a voice and that there's potential within them, and whatever it is that they want to go after, they're able to go do.
Yes.
Go out there and do it, bro, and be unapologetic about it. Because one thing that I've learned is they're always gonna have an opinion. They're always gonna,
Of course.
they're always gonna tell you, they're gonna doubt what it is that you're doing, because it's what we're doing right now is very untraditional, especially for both of us being children of immigrants.
It is, man.
Like,
yeah.
People, they're, sometimes it's our family that holds us back. Sometimes that tells us, like, this isn't gonna, work because of the things that they've seen. Traditional homes, like working on the phone, like, get married, have kids,
traditional stuff. Yeah,
have a big house.
Were your parents kind of forcing that on you originally? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole school thing, and
man. I mean, you still went through.
I still went through with it because I along the way I just learned to enjoy the experience for myself and to do it for me.
When it comes to the podcast stuff, have they heard about it? Like, you do that stuff, so, and then they're on board with it?
When I initially started it, my younger brother and my cousins were all for it, like, yo, this is really dope. And then I waited a while to show my dad it, and then, like, he eventually he listened to it, and he was like, son, this is actually pretty cool. And I think one of the only time that, like, we really had, like, a discrepancy was when certain things that I would talk about, he felt like I was oversharing. But sometimes you have to be vulnerable with your audience to let them know that it's okay to talk about the things that you've been through.
Yes, and even the most recent episode, I think the more episodes I do, the more comfortable I get, kind of opening up a bit. And then even while I'm editing it, I'm like, no, I can put that in. I can say that and put that in, stuff like that. Yeah, dude.
All right, so next one is I guess a 3-part question. Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months? Where do you see yourself in the next year? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In 6 months, oh wow, 6 months, a year, and 5 years. So what I can say is, for me, in 6 months, what I'm hoping, maybe, I still see myself here with a more improved studio.
Okay.
At least, in my again, everyone, the studio is, like, pretty much attached to my house. It's a little garage, and in the next 6 months, where I see myself is still content creating, still having a full-time job. I don't see myself making any crazy steps in the next 6 months, because again, people can say, like, it's the wrong way to do it, which I fully understand, but for me, it's like, I want to do everything properly and safely.
Yes.
Which, people can say, take the jump, do it. And I get that. I do. Because there have been moments where I'm like, maybe I should just, maybe just move to New York or LA or Philly, and then I can just fucking do something there. But again, I'm getting to this point where I'm like, no. Local growth.
Yeah.
Local growth. And then when the time comes, it'll come.
Right.
So in 6 months, maybe I do see myself with a better studio in the garage. Things are a little more organized and thriving from there.
Right.
If we were to fast forward a year from now, I would say, actually, me and my boy, Francisco Palanca, shout out to Cisco. He's someone I want you to meet, because he said he did want to meet you too.
Awesome.
He lives in Dover too, so maybe next time I go hang out. Yeah, maybe next time I go hang out with him, I'll let you know, and we'll link
absolutely.
Me and him have been talking, about moving out together, and just finding, like, an area to or an apartment, or I don't know what it is. Just a place to move out and just get a feel for it. Get a feel for it, because he's 25, and I'm 23. We're at that position where we're like, maybe. So after things are kind of said and done in this studio, I'm hoping to find maybe a new space, living somewhere else. In a year from now, I could probably see that, and with him, and then having people over there, and because I want to be able to evolve, each time.
Absolutely.
5 years. 5 years? That's a great question. I want to say thriving. I hope to see myself thriving in my own really professional production studio when it comes to just recording the podcast. One thing I want to get into a little bit, everybody, I want to say, stay tuned for it, because I've had conversations with people that want to hop onto it. Singing. I might try getting into, like, doing covers or something like that with other people, and that's definitely going to come later down the line, though, because I want to be able to have the right studio space for it.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to start singing in my room or in that hot garage. I'm not going to do it in there. But I don't know. I hope to have this podcast known to an extent where like even like it's. I don't know how to word it. I want it to really gain traction to where it's just known. You know? I want this
yeah.
podcast to be known, and not even just that, but my YouTube channel, because I'm still trying to make short films and vlogs on there. But hopefully, I'm hoping in 5 years I'm stable somewhere, living with either my pal, or if not, a girl. Hey, love interest out there. I'm single, but
Ladies, get at Ethan.
yo, get at Rex too, yo. What's going on here? But
Oh no.
oh no,
No.
are you dating someone?
No.
Oh no, oh but you're just not. No.
Yeah,
it's not you right now.
It's a collect the bag season. It's a pandemic, and I'm just trying to grow my brand.
Word. Okay, we're gonna dive into that when we cross over to mine. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. But yeah, I don't know. 5 years again. Living somewhere with a better studio space, and this thing is, hopefully at some tippy top where I'm just like comfortable.
Right.
I want to be making money off of this, a lot of money off of this by 5 years. There we go. I'll put it
absolutely.
that way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I'll say to you, because again, this is something that I've learned through the whole like business creation process.
Yeah.
The money's out there. You just have to have a service that is not only distinct but authentic, and not everybody else is able to do what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like right now, we're at the base of the mountain trying to move our rock up.
Yeah.
Once we get to the top,
we're going up though. It's just kind of like, ugh.
we need to get some momentum, and then once we get momentum, we're going to be able to get to the top, and then just roll it down the hill, and everything will flow.
It's there. It'll flow. Yeah.
So
we're just in that climbing portion, man.
Yeah,
we're in that climbing portion.
And that's always the toughest part for anybody. Whether it's artists, musicians, content creators, entertainers, actors. Mm-hmm. The hardest part is just getting your footing and
entertainment, man. The entertainment business is hard, man.
It's tough.
It's hard. You gotta grind. Dude.
Tough.
Mm-hmm.
But we're making it, and like we've been saying,
and I hope I really hope that this, like what we're doing, like your podcast meeting my podcast, those type of episodes, and like just doing this in my room. I hope this inspires some people.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, listen, like it's. I'm not saying like I know it does involve money,
absolutely.
You do need the funds to have the right equipment and stuff, but it doesn't even always necessarily have to be that. How were you recording your podcast before?
Oh,
weren't you
guys? When I initially started this a year ago,
it was like your phone, right?
My phone, and my Beats headphones, and I literally oh gosh, I would hear myself talk through the headphones,
right?
Fortunately enough, like one of the great things about iPhones is when you record audio, it sounds pretty good.
It's decent. No, it is decent.
It's not bad.
Even the when we're listening to your old episodes, like it's not like some garbled Google Mama garbage,
Right.
It sounds decent. Yeah, I'm just
don't let money hold you guys back. Like
don't create,
especially if you have a vision and a gift.
Yes,
you just have to apply it.
Go back on my YouTube channel. Look at my old videos. Like, what the hell was I doing? Like I was making nonsense, and I was using just some stupid props to for videos and stuff. Check I don't know if that can inspire you guys too.
Link the first episode of the Ethan Hunt Aguilar show in the description.
We'll talk about that too. Yeah, I want to talk about what we're gonna do.
I'll make sure I'll include that later.
Yeah, we'll include that in there. Yeah, but you'll see me and Rex in the first Ethan Hunt Aguilar show episode.
So
much. I want to thank you again because I think that if anything kicked things off a little bit, for where I'm at now too. Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, like it
was huge.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. This is the second to last question.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Because after that, I'll cut this out. After that, we can maybe wrap things up, and then because we pretty much hit an hour. We're about to hit an hour, and then we can move on to mine and go from there.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect. So the next question that I have for you, Ethan, is, and this is a pretty loaded question. So if you need some time to think on it, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
But how pivotal are character, integrity, and morality to the success of one's business, especially someone like you in the entertainment business?
I remember looking at that question. Huge. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say huge. It can help someone grow. I think that's what it is. It can help you grow, and it can get you far in life. I can say it's gotten me far in life because if I was at my job that I'm at now, and I was just kind of like some sort of quiet, like always grumpy person, I probably wouldn't even be in the position I'm in right now.
Right.
It helped me get the position I'm in right now because.
Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah. Keep going, bro. This is perfect. Yeah. So when I applied for the job I'm at, I was just trying to find a full-time job, right? I applied for something called payment posting. I don't know what it was, but I'm just like, I need a full-time job, and I had a connection in there, so I applied, and okay, no, this is a perfect fucking example. Here we go. I go in the interview, and then I told myself, again, I was always kind of nervous in interviews, but I think I was able to enhance my skill, like my personality a little bit in the interview. I had it with a person I'm really good friends with now.
Yep.
And as soon as I left that interview, it went really well. I had and I remember leaving being like, oh my God, I was like, oh man, this payment posting thing is going to be a lot, right? I get an email saying, we want you to be front desk because we really liked your personality and stuff like that. The feeling of relief, Rex, because even my dad was like, that's going to be so much better for you. What they did was they saw me, they knew, and because I was being myself. I had to be myself, and I was trying to just kind of like be engaging with the person. And I pretty much, I saw like, in Skyrim, your skills chart. I was trying to use that two-handed weapon as much as possible. I'm like, ooh, this is my skill. Let me keep doing that. And it worked out in my favor. I'm currently the front desk there. And another cool thing is, again, this goes back to expressing yourself more. Be yourself. I started talking to people on my YouTube channel, and then word got around, which I was like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like, oh shit, here we go. Like, I might get fired or something. It ended up being a really great thing because they put me on the social media team because of it. And now I edit their videos. I create thumbnails for them. I'm graphic designing. And guess what? I didn't go to school for any of this, but I'm getting the experience through here, and they trusted me with it, and they like everything that I'm doing right now. And literally what I'm doing now is something that you would need a bachelor's degree for, but because of my character and what I was able to do to harness that energy and for this professional environment, I was able to do what I love because of it. And that's why it's so important, those traits right there, because if you don't find a way to harness those things, like I feel like you might not get too far in life, because it's just going to be, you're always going to fall flat, or you're just going to stay where you're at all the time. For me, again, the way life has been going for me, every time I see a chance to be funny or be the entertainment guy, I take it, because I don't know who's watching. And, someone who, sees that and is like, that's a pretty funny guy. Like, what was it? I just recently got involved with some GSBC church events. And the pastor there, shout out to Pastor Carlos. He kind of saw me doing some funny things with the guys, and then being like, so he found my YouTube channel, and then it just led to another thing where he went out of his way to ask me for the recent retreat we just went on. He said, hey, do you want to do like a cool stand-up thing, like a talk show thing in front of everybody to break the ice? And like that stuff, I love doing that stuff, public speaking, being the clown of the situation, but it's always it's paid off, right? And I think if people, again, please harness those traits that Rex listed off, because it can get you far in life.
Absolutely.
And those are to answer it, I just gave examples. Hopefully that was the best way to do it.
That was good. And one thing I'll say to you, because I actually learned this a couple weeks ago in one of the Saturday morning classes that I take with my church. When God gives you a gift and you're able to selflessly give it out to other people, those people in return will pay you for it. If it's not money, then they'll give you time, they'll give you opportunity, they'll give you valuable experiences that will help you cultivate your gift. And that's one thing that I love is you're always willing to help out other people and be yourself. And not many people are willing to do that nowadays. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed hearing your response to that question, because in particular, like the main reason why I asked that is, especially once people start to gain traction and become popular and really be put out in the forefront and become mainstream, like their character, their integrity, and their morality just goes out the window. And they say one thing and they mean another. Like some people will say, oh, I'm not really into smoking and drinking, and they'll say it on camera, but then one thing that I love is the truth always comes to the forefront, and people, it's unfortunate and people call it being messy, but it really is just a matter of the truth exposing itself. And people get caught up and say, oh, I wouldn't associate myself with this, and they get caught being associated with it. And that's why I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in the past couple of months is forging your character and realizing that even when you feel like other people aren't watching you, they are. They are. To any of your new viewers that are tuning in, that are coming over from my podcast, or just in general that either stumble upon your Instagram page and check out your YouTube videos and all that good stuff, why should they tune in to Ethan Hahn Plus?
Oh, great question. I need the money. No. I'm kidding. No. You should do them because again, I think on my podcast, the guests that I have, you are gonna be able to find someone that I think you can relate with. And the conversation again, what I can say here is the conversations we have, it can get deep. I've had some deep conversations with people on the podcast, but if you're someone watching that you're like, oh, I want to create a podcast because I always have funny conversations with people, but again, if you don't have the funding or stuff like that, like watch mine and figure it out from there, like because I think you'll be able to see that. Listen, you don't need the fanciest stuff in the world too.
Yeah, you really don't.
Again, we'll touch on funny topics, but it's just kind of like a casual conversation. If you were just trying to like sit back, relax, and just like have a fun. If you're a person that likes to talk with your friends and talk about anything and just like laugh, like literally, that's what my podcast
can turn that into a
is.
podcast.
And then sometimes it's like, here's the vibe. Here's the vibe I'll set up for everybody. You know how when you're at a sleepover and then it gets really late and all your friends and you are sitting in the dark and clearly everyone's still like awake.
Yeah.
But you're just like, and someone makes like one funny noise or something and then all of you start laughing. But then it somehow morphs into some deep talk. Like, like conversations I'll have with people on the podcast. What's the deal with aliens? What happens when we die? And
it's funny when people ask that, but
it's some deeper shit.
Yeah.
Too. Like, it's funny. The initial thing is funny, but like the bigger picture is like, that is some deep shit. And I want people to hear other takes, you know? First off, full disclaimer, when you do watch my podcast, listen, everything is talked about. Don't come on like if you get easily offended or something like that, because and I'm not saying we talk about like, you know, some really crazy sensitive stuff.
Yeah, right.
But come in open-minded to hearing what other people's opinions are. That's literally what it is. And because for me, I'm not the type of guy to get offended a lot, you know. For me, I like to hear people out. It's fascinating to hear, what is your point of view on this? What's your point? Again, any topics, aliens, death, I don't know, like what's your favorite flavor of Pepsi, or I don't know.
Right.
It's been conversations like that. We talk about like culture. I've had a lot of people. I've been fortunate. Shout out to Cam and Guido. I've been fortunate to be really good friends with him. He's the president of FSA over at UD.
Oh, wow.
And he's been on twice, but he's been part of the reason I've had more guests come on, Filipino guests, and I've been able to dive deep into, you know, the culture more, what other people have experienced in their side of their families, because I think a cool thing that's branched out from this podcast is having these Filipinos on that have had the same experiences as me in Delaware, growing up in America, and you know, trying to grow into trying to find their Filipino community and stuff, because I think that is something that a lot of us weren't able to find when we were young. But you're just trying to have some good wholesome fun, tune into Ethan Han Plus, and if you are someone who would like to be on it, hey, shoot me a message, Han_Aguilar on Instagram, and listen, just come on, we'll talk about anything, truthfully.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's it, dude.
This has been great.
This has been great.
I want to extend my gratitude to you for opening up your studio space, for allowing me to interview you for this.
My room. My room. Because again, there's work getting done, but dude, this is fun to have you on, man. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure, and I feel like, you know, whenever we do get together, it's just genuine, free-flowing conversation.
Man.
I love when I can just do that with people. And it doesn't have to be forced, or we're not, you know, awkwardly standing here looking at each other like this. I don't know what to say. So,
right, yeah.
I definitely had a great time.
This is great, man. Yeah, thank you for having me. King's Tales is back, baby.
It's back.
King's Tales is back.
It's back.
Yes,
and
sir.
Better than ever. I've been saying it. It's actually funny. I tweeted this the other day. I was partially joking, but I was serious too, because now, like, I have a vision and I know who it is that I'm trying to help and what it is that I'm trying to accomplish.
Yes.
And I said July to December is about to be critical, and like we're in the end of July. Whenever this episode gets put out, you know, you guys are going to be able to view it, and when I have a set schedule going, and there's just a lot of stuff that I have planned that I can't wait to unveil to you guys, and you know, it's going to be great. Like, I just can't wait to see.
I'm excited to see you thrive, dude, succeed. Yeah. And we're going to, dude, we'll just help each other out along the way, man.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll just help each other out. Exactly, dude.
Definitely looking forward to it. And again, who knows what'll happen in the next 6 months or the year, or next 5 years.
You know, anything can happen too.
Exactly.
Again, just stay consistent. Stay consistent. Stay persistent and consistent. That was exactly it, man. And because it's definitely helped me out being consistent. I could have stopped this podcast, 2 episodes in.
Right.
Like, I don't know about it, but no, like stay consistent, and it will get you places, and people will
Notice it.
People will notice it and appreciate it. I think what you said earlier was, I forget, it was along the lines of like, when people see that you're taking it seriously, they'll take you seriously.
Exactly.
And one thing that it's been, people are literally coming to me like shout out to Jella Abad. She literally, they came up with a huge topic list, her and two other friends, and they sent it to me. They're like, let's break it down this way. They had ideas, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like, it's cool. I told her we're gonna cover all this. Come on board. Yeah, because they're taking, again, take yourself seriously. People will take you seriously.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I'll say this before we wrap up.
Yeah.
You may not even know it, Ethan, but you already have a team. Like, you have a team of people behind you, like,
right, yeah,
that are supporting you. You have a community that supports you. You have people that are sending you topic ideas. So don't get necessarily caught up in, having like a set group of people doing things.
No, I will say I'm extremely grateful for, I think, the supporters that I have, because I think, I get most of my ideas from them too, It's a lot of collaboration that goes on, and then it's just kind of me being here, and then we execute, and no, you know what, I think, I will acknowledge, I think the supporters and, friends and family have helped out tremendously. Look at that.
In sync.
Tremendously, dude. Yeah, and I am grateful for that. So thank you on that. And I think I need to. I think it's one of those things. It just happens naturally, man. Opposed to me thinking it has to be this official. Oh yeah, payroll with these people. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But no, like literally, I think just having again friends and family behind my back in my corner. I think that's a team in itself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Everybody, Ethan Hunt Aguilar. Can we just?
Thank you. I try. Thank you. Honored to be helping you get back out there with the King's Tales podcast, good sir. Yeah.
I honestly couldn't have thought of a better first guest to be.
This is fantastic. Let's start off with a bang. Whoever's next after this, you have big shoes to. But I'm just kidding. No, I'm excited to see who you have on, what topics you have going, and we're gonna promote the hell out of King's Tales.
I'm excited, bro.
Let's get this thing going.
I am excited. So everyone, this is King's Tales. I'm your host, Rex Chege. Hope you guys got some value from today's episode, and be on the lookout. We got some crazy new content dropping, and I know y'all are gonna find value in it. Sustainable value. All right, I'm gonna see y'all later. I gotta pee.
Gang. All right.